with Live at 7, the Siena Fest headliner has been announced. What you need to know to have a great concert experience.
And Siena's Out of the Dark walk, how the community came together to show their support.
Plus, the Siena College Research Institute connects us with community members in the Capital Region, what we know from the Capital Region Progress Report event.
Plus, an inside look of policies and political developments in the Trump administration.
And Matt Coloma gives us an insight to the pressing issues on American college campuses, including our own.
And a plane has crashed in Columbia County, the details you need to know. SCTV Live at 7 begins right now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Ashlyn Hunter.
And I'm Dante Sullivan. Civil unrest continues to grow on college campuses across the nation as the Trump administration has been revoking student visas of international students.
We are just now learning that this issue is directly affecting Siena College. Matt Coloma has the story.
Over the past several weeks, protests have ramped up across the nation. This is in response to the Trump administration's revoking of almost 800 student visas from international students.
A student visa is like me inviting you into my home. If you come into my home and put all kinds of crap on my couch, I'm going to kick you out of my house. And so, you know, that's what we're doing with our country, thanks to the president. And last but not least, very important.
Those were the words of Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who also said, "We do it every day. Every time I find one of these lunatics, I take away their visas." Many of the students are having their visas revoked due to political activism. And now, a Siena student has had their visa revoked. While we don't have explicit details, President Chuck Seifert sent out a memo this past weekend, informing the campus and trying to support the student body, saying, "I know that news like this can be upsetting, especially for members of the international community and the faculty and classmates that support them. I've reached out to several international students. However, they have all declined to leave a comment at this time, presumably out of fear of repercussions." Several lawsuits have been filed in response to the visa issues, arguing the government lacked due process before suddenly taking away visa status from students. Officials for Homeland Security have yet to comment on the lawsuits. For SCTV, I'm Matt Coloma.
Thanks, Matt. Although the announcement was canceled last Friday, pop star Zara Larsson was announced on Saturday as this year's Siena Fest performer.
The pop star made her mark in the 2010s with hit singles like Ruin My Life and So Good. This year's concert will take place on Friday, April 25th in the MAC. Doors open at 7:30 p.m. Pre-sale tickets are available now for $20. Beginning April 19th, ticket prices will increase to $25. Despite the rain, members of the Siena community showed their support at the Out of the Darkness walk hosted by the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
Last Saturday, students, alumni, and staff gathered in the MAC and walked across campus to the chapel to share a day full of hope and healing.
I want you guys to know that if that is something that you're struggling with or you're going through, you are not alone. And I know it sounds like something cheesy that we say a lot, but it's true.
Also in attendance were therapy dogs and table vendors. If you are unable to attend the event, donations are welcome at afspwalks.donordrive.com.
The Title IX Office Women's Center, Office of Health Promotion and English Department collaborated to host the annual Surviving Through Stories event. Located in the Norm, students and staff alike had the opportunity to share a poem or narrative to bring awareness to the impact of sexual violence.
Original works and texts by favorite authors were shared at the event to show support to all survivors, allies, and community members. Refreshments, along with coloring and bracelet making, were also offered for a mindful activity. Every other year here at Siena, the Stack Center sponsors a contest to help young entrepreneurs bring their ideas to life.
It's called Spark Tank, and this year's winner is doing what they can to help our furry friends. SCTV's Matt McCarthy reports.
Nearly 70 million households in America are home to at least one dog. Sadly, there are roughly 10 million dogs reported missing each year in the United States. Personally, I have 3 four-legged friends at home, and let's just say they know how to get free. Not knowing where they are for what could feel like hours at end could really send me into a panic. Thankfully, the winners of this year's Siena Spark Tank competition have a solution. Ella Rivero, Kelsey Higgins, Chloe Massette, and Megan Ferreira teamed up to make Bark 360, an advanced dog collar that will provide your pup with safety.
It is a collar that is GPS tracking, tick and flea repellent, and glows in the dark to keep your pet safe.
So I think it's just wanting to have a product that can keep your dog safe, not just like being able to track them, but also from like ticks and fleas and just like incoming traffic. It's like an overall great collar. So
Good, this dog collar took home first place in the Spark Tank competition because of features such as a GPS tracking system and flea repellent. The elements behind Bark 360 truly make it one of a kind.
the GPS, we plan to do a brand partnership with the brand Tractive, because their GPS in particular, compared to our competitors, has like worldwide coverage. The tick and flea repellent, we plan to use Eva foam, which is like an absorbent material, but it will gradually release the tick and flea repellent into the dog's fur, like over time.
What better way to find reviews on a high-tech dog collar than asking fellow dog owners how they feel about the product? I went around Siena's campus doing just that.
Bark 360 is going to be a great product, especially for my dog Ellie here.
I think it sounds like a great idea. It combines so many different things that pet owners have to pay for.
I think that this new invention is a great idea. You know, it could save a lot of money on flea repellent medication.
Now for the most important part, asking the local dogs how they feel about Bark 360. Ellie, how do you feel about Bark 360? That's perfect. Thank you. That's not all for Bark 360, as they have big implications for the future.
We're hoping once we're more financially set that we'll be able to get more things to make this product actually be sold on the market, maybe go to Shark Tank, see how that goes.
As Bark 360 continues to develop, pet owners may have a new way of keeping their best friends safe. For SCTV, I'm Matt McCarthy.
Thanks, Matt. Students and faculty joined together at the Trump's First 100 Days panel earlier today to learn key policies and political developments in the current administration. Hosted by the Political Science Society, students attended the panel and asked any questions they had.
Free food was available for attendees. If interested in future poli-sci events, a political science town hall will be hosted tomorrow at 6 p.m. in Siena Hall 315. The Siena College Research Institute hosted their Capital Region Progress Report event last Friday.
Perks of the event include a brief presentation of community data and insight conversations on key community issues, and the chance to network with community partners and event sponsors. Key statistics discussed at the event included 68% of people saying the quality of life is excellent or good, while only 25% think things are improving in the capital region.
And we are a public opinion research organization, so we poll on politics, economics, social and cultural issues. And today, we were presenting the data from our survey where we did a comparative analysis of the nation compared to the capital region. And we partnered with Pioneer Bank to sponsor this event because we felt the data is good, but it's only good if people use it. So that's how we brought together the stakeholders and had a great conversation today.
Also discussed was the availability of local and affordable housing, with 75% negatively rating it and 47% saying the cost of living in the capital region is getting worse. If you're looking to expand your horizons outside of the capital region, the Study Abroad office may be able to help.
SCTV's Tim Russo takes us there.
Siena students will want to take a look at the Study Abroad offerings for next fall. Planning is always the first step. It's no different here. Fast approaching is the fall semester, and there are numerous options for international studies according to the Director of International Program, Abby Cavalos.
Here at Siena, we send around, probably close to 300 students a year abroad on both semester, short-term programs, and international travel courses. For semester, we have around probably 50 to 60 different programs across the world.
To better understand exactly what's on offer here, we also spoke with experienced student Olivia Ballo.
My favorite part about studying abroad was being able to experience that culture and like kind of dive headfirst into it. If you even have the itch of going anywhere or just want to see a different side of the world besides Loudonville, New York, I think we have great opportunities for you here.
Keep your passports ready and a destination in mind as registration kicks off next semester. Reporting for SCTV, I'm Tim Russo. Back to you.
Thanks, Tim. Still to come, Siena Softball has a new all-time steals leader. Our own Joey DePreta sits down with Kenzie Swinson. Plus, Matt DeVincentes and Elijah Miller bring us the latest in sports.
And here's a look at the closing numbers from Wall Street. All three indexes closed in red. The Dow dropped nearly 700 points.
Welcome back. Siena softball had a doubleheader today, splitting their series against Niagara. Last week, one of our SCTV Live at 7 colleagues broke a long-standing record for Siena softball. Joining me today is Kenzie Swinson. Kenzie, thank you for joining us. I want to ask you, how has the season been going so far?
Honestly, it's been a little bit rocky. We've had our ups and we've had our downs. For example, today we split with Niagara. We probably should have swept, but that's just kind of how our seasons went. I think that we are on the up. We were just on like an 8 or 9 game win streak. So to fall down, that's like you're gonna get knocked down every once in a while. But overall, it's been okay. I mean, that's just the nature of sport, you know. But you talked about ups and downs. One of the biggest ups, so to speak, this season was when you guys beat Marist. You ended their 19-game win streak. Talk to me about what that was like. Yeah, that game was intense for sure. We had just won max on their home field last year. It's always like a rivalry game. They're very good. So for us, we had to like bring our best stuff, and that's what we did. So it was a great game, nail biter, extra innings. It was good. Well, it's always important to get those wins, and it's even sweeter against some rivals. For you personally, last week you broke the all-time program record for career stolen bases. Can you talk to me about what that honor means to you? Yeah, so it was kind of like always a goal of mine. I've always taken some pride in my base running, something I've always had confidence in. I also have like the single season stolen base record. I broke that my sophomore year when I first got here, and then I also broke it again my junior year. So the joke this year was like, oh, are you going to break the career one? And I was like, I don't even know what the career one is. They're like, you're only 10, 11 steals away. I think it was 11 steals away. Like, are you going to do it? And I was like, well, yeah. So to me, like, I just am happy to have my name in the top spot. Yeah, well, that's awesome. You know, that whole me versus me mentality. You know, for those that don't know, you know, it's pretty rare for athletes to transition from high school into college. You know, the top 5% maybe become collegiate athletes. What's like the behind the scenes for you to not only play in college, but then to be a record holder in college? Yeah, so it's a lot of like time and effort put in outside of just your single set practice time. So yeah, we do 6 a.m. conditioning. We hit at 6 a.m. We have our scheduled practice time, 2:45 to 4:30, and then we go and lift. But like personally on my own, I go and I lift some more. I eat very clean. I try to get good sleep, so it's all about like maintaining good health and making sure that my body is as ready as it possibly can be to put it through any standards that it needs to go through. That's awesome. You talked about winning the MACs at Marist. With that, the MAC playoffs are coming up. What are your guys' expectations as the reigning champions? Yeah, I mean, there's always a target on your back coming in when you're the reigning champion. Everybody wants to beat you, and we've definitely seen that energy from all teams that we've played so far this year. So for us, we need to just like go out there with confidence and know that we can, especially coming from an underdog story last year. We were the 6 of 6 seed. This year we have 8 seeds, so it'll be a little bit different. But yeah, I think we just need to play our game, bring our fun, uplifting energy that we have, and attack everybody with confidence. Yeah, well, we're wishing you all the best of luck with that. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you. If you want to watch the full interview after the show, you'll be able to find it on the Siena College Communications page YouTube channel. You can also find the interview on SCTV Instagram page at sienacollege.tv. Make sure you follow and subscribe while you're there. On the way, the latest on another shooting occurring in Malta last week, plus a plane crashed in Colombia, what we know.
local man from Malta, David Levin, was shot by state troopers after he opened fire.
Police say the shooting took place at about 1:45 p.m. last Wednesday, after a man driving a Nissan pickup truck pulled into the parking area of the state trooper barracks that is normally reserved for state police vehicles. No troopers were harmed in the incident. A Schenectady man was accused of following a woman off of a CDTA bus in Albany and attacking her.
The incident occurred last Monday. According to the Albany police, the man was charged with third-degree assault. Court records show bail was set at $15,000 in cash or $30,000 in insured bonds. Police say he was transported to the Albany County Jail. A former NCAA Women of the Year and her family, as well as a pilot, were killed in Columbia County plane crash this past Saturday.
According to the National Transportation Safety Board, as the plane neared its destination of the Columbia County Airport, the pilot reported a missed approach. The NTSB are still determining the probable cause of the crash. Still to come, Siena Sports on SCTV.
Elijah Miller and Matt DeVicentes takes us to the Dog Pound.
Coming up, the 2025 Masters Tournament has come to a close. Stay tuned to see who won the infamous green jacket.
Plus, the 2025 NFL Draft is just a week away. Stay tuned to check out the best draft options.
Good evening, Saints, and welcome to the Dog Pound. I'm Matthew DeVincentis.
And I'm Elijah Miller.
The 2025 Masters Tournament came to a close on Sunday evening with English golfer Rory McIlroy winning his first green jacket. His victory came after a heated playoff with fellow golfer Justin Rose, ending with a final 4-foot putt on the 18th tee for McIlroy. Along with winning his first Masters, McIlroy has become one of 6 men with a career Grand Slam, the first since Tiger Woods in 2000. In a postseason tournament interview, McIlroy stated that he can't wait to celebrate this tremendous victory with his parents in Northern Ireland.
The 2025 NFL Draft is only 1 week away, and everyone is anxious to know where the best available will be heading. The top 3 picks this year, which consists of the Tennessee Titans, Cleveland Browns, and New York Giants, are closely monitoring this draft's 3 biggest names: wide receiver and cornerback Travis Hunter and quarterback Shedeur Sanders from Colorado University, as well as quarterbacker Cam Ward from the University of Miami. Be sure to keep your eyes locked on your screens on April 24th at 8 p.m. to see where these up-and-coming NFL stars are heading.
The UFC held one of the most spectacular title matches in history last Saturday night. UFC 314 featured Australian fighter Alexander Volkanovski claiming victory via unanimous decision against Brazilian fighter Diego Lopes for the vacant featherweight title. Volkanovski became the first fighter over the age of 35 to win a world title fight in a weight class under 170 pounds. This victory was a triumph for the Australian fighter after taking 2 previous knockout losses from Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria.
Yankees captain and reigning AL MVP Aaron Judge is set to make his World Baseball Classic debut next year.
The baseball star was announced as team captain for Team USA's 2026 WBC team on Monday and was given the fitting nickname Captain America. Judge, who is coming off a spectacular MVP season, is off to a hot start this year, hitting .357 with 6 home runs and 20 RBIs as of late. Though the full Team USA roster hasn't been announced, Judge will not be the only Yankee supporting the team, as former Yankee pitcher and 5-time World Series champion Andy Pettitte will be the team's pitching coach. Team USA is hoping to take a victory next year after losing to Team Japan in the 2023 WBC.
For the third time in 3 consecutive off-seasons, the Phoenix Suns have fired another head coach. Mike Budenholzer was released from his coaching duties Monday evening after finishing with a disappointing 36-46 record. The Suns have announced in a statement that the team failed to meet expectations and that change is needed. Budenholzer signed a 5-year, $50 million contract last offseason with the Phoenix team after he was chosen for his winning pedigree and play style on both sides of the court.
And that'll do it for this week's edition of the Dog Pound. I'm Matthew DeVincentis.
And I'm Elijah Miller. Ashlyn and Dante, back to you.
Still to come, your favorite pop star, Katy Perry, rocketed into space. Stay tuned to hear more.
Katy Perry lived out her teenage dream this past weekend, launching into the sky like a firework.
Blue Origin's New Shepard rocket launched off its pad in Van Horn, Texas.
Liftoff.
In a capsule atop the fiery send-off, the first all-female flight crew in space in over 60 years. Yes. Among them, pop star Katy Perry, journalist and Oprah bestie Gayle King, movie producer Carrie-Anna Flynn, Amanda Nguyen, a women's rights advocate and the first Vietnamese woman to fly in space, Aisha Bo, a former NASA rocket scientist and entrepreneur, and Lauren Sanchez, who organized the flight and is also engaged to Blue Origin's founder, Amazon billionaire Jeff Bezos. The New Shepard's capsule only 12.5 feet wide. Perry shared a look inside on her Instagram ahead of the launch.
Here I am. Seat number 2.
Their suborbital flight, reaching just beyond 62 miles above Earth, lasted only a few minutes. But the experience and memories will last much longer.
You look at it and you're like, we're all in this together. All these things that divide us, but we're not.
Perry carried a small daisy, honoring her daughter's name, but also as a symbol of those confronting their fears.
They go through cement, they go through cracks, they go through walls. They are resilient.
Gayle King was one of them, challenging her own crippling fear of flying.
I'm so proud of me right now. I still can't believe it.
Of the more than 700 people who've traveled to space, only about 15% have been women.
It's about making space for future women and taking up space and belonging.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
The University of Pennsylvania's basketball program has announced the hiring of former Siena basketball star Ronald Moore as an assistant coach.
Moore graduated as Siena's all-time assist leader and held the 2 best single-season totals in program history as a senior from 2009 to 2010. In that time, he earned the most wins in program history. Moore scored 1,070 career points and also graduated 3rd all-time with 223 career steals.
Lots of good stories there at the end.
Yeah.
Katy Perry, Siena, former Siena staff and Siena alumni taking over UPenn basketball.
Would you guys take the opportunity of going into space?
Oh, 1,000,000%. I've always wanted to go into space, but I know that it's something that costs a lot of money that I definitely don't have the funds for right now.
I would love to go to space.
I'm more of an ocean person myself. I think I'd prefer to maybe like go on a submarine, possibly, not a spaceship.
I would love to go to space, to see the Earth in a way that most people haven't. That would be really cool.
It's definitely a possibility.
And what's your guys' favorite Katy Perry song?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's ask Joey first.
And I'm not that big of a Katy Perry fan. So I can't say that I actually have a favorite, unfortunately.
I would say maybe the entire Teenage Dream album is really just full of great hits. And Chained to the Rhythm, an excellent one off of one of her more underrated albums.
Well, I like Waking Up in Vegas. I think that's the best one.
It's definitely a good choice.
Yeah.
And that'll do it for SCTV Live at 7.
Follow us on Instagram at sienacollege.tv, or you can find us here on the Siena College Communications Program YouTube page.
Have a great night.